1000. You can call me Munch. I'm going to be going over some of my Ultra League Premier battles that got me up to around 2850. This was my last set of the day on Wednesday. But just going over some of the strategies I went through and just win cons I found throughout the set. Feel free to comment below and share your ideas on what I could have done better. Again, this is my first YouTube video, so just kind of bear with me. Alright, so game one, I believe this was the loss I had in the set. So going in, yeah, it was one of the worst leads I could possibly see with the Stunfisk lead. As you can see, the team is Stunfisk, Venusaur, Galv. I usually safe swap Galv, and in this instance, I safe swap Galv, and I got hard countered so badly by a Shadow Nidoqueen, which in a sense is good, gets it out of Venusaur's way, so there's still hope within this battle for now. So I just play it out. I have no reason to shield anything. I'm just going to throw as many lunges as I can get to avoid shielding the Stunfisk later. I mean, I'm not going to get past this matchup. There's no reason to commit shields to it. And then I try to get to this, I believe it's my third lunge, but I just barely get counted down on like the 10th turn of my 12th turn move. In comes Stunfisk, almost definitely going to just double Earth Power me, so I'm going to shield the first one. They got so much farm off of the Galv, it's a pretty straightforward matchup from here on out. I try to over-farm it, and I CMP tie, which is almost worst case scenario. I can't go down 2 shields. So I'm just going to take the second Earth Power, throw the Rock Slide. Ideally, I probably should not have thrown all these bubbles here and just got the extra farm, but Rock Slide does so little to Nidoqueen, I didn't want to risk it getting to a third Earth Power. Gonna hard swap into Venusaur. Out comes Talonflame, there's no win con anymore. So I'm just gonna forfeit that game. Alright, so game 2, I started recording a little bit late. It happens. So we had a G-Fisk into a Roserade Mirror. I went up to Earthquake and I'm baiting with Rock Slide. That's just where we're at. I already took a Weather Ball. I anticipated they don't Leaf Storm off the bat. It is a Poison Jab Roserade. So here I know they're at a Leaf Storm, so I'm going to shield just because I don't want to end up taking one. And I want to get my Earthquake off. So it was the Leaf Storm, so correctly predicted on a CMP tie. So we're going to get this Earthquake off. Let's see if they shield. Alright, no shield. That's good. There's no reason to want to get farmed down here. I go into Venusaur as opposed to Galv, as with only 1 shield apiece, Politoed on Galv is actually not that bad, versus it runs a 50-50 on the Politoed versus Venusaur matchup of having Blizzard or not. So Snorlax comes out. I know I win the race to each move because I win CMP on the first 2 where it's 12 turns to each of us. Snorlax drops to 11 turns for the third Body Slam, and Venusaur drops to 10 turns for the third Friendly Plant. So no matter what, as long as I throw as soon as I get the move, I should be getting off my my move before the Snorlax does. So I get him to commit a shield, which is very good. Now I can save that second shield for Galvantula. I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to come in with G-Fist to try to encourage this Snorlax to throw whatever energy it did, because it over-farmed past its second Body Slam. So I know it's close to a third move already. Another CMP tie. Can't. It's not fortunate for me, but I'll take it. It just means more farm for Galvantula, so I'll take the superpower, no worries. Galvantula comes back in. We get that clean farm down right there. In comes Politoed. Got very, very little energy, if any at all. So I'm just going to throw Discharge. There's no reason to throw Lunge here, other than trying to flex on my opponent. And I really don't need to do that. So I'm going to keep throwing my Oh, and looks like the video cut out a little bit early. Basically how it wrapped up is I got an additional Volt Switch through, and then I farmed down. Easy cleanup for the game. Right. Let's move on into the next one. So next game, I have a little bit of a cut on. I need to get cleaner at making these videos, but we'll practice that as I make more YouTube videos. So, here we have Stunfisk and the Nidoqueen. This is ideal. This is where I want to see Nidoqueen. So I want to keep this as much as possible. In comes a Tangrowth. This thing has Rock Slide, so I can't go Galv. It's safer to go into Venusaur. I assume they're going to throw just Rock Slide off the bat. I want to gauge how much damage this does. It only does about 45%. I haven't been in this matchup before, so that was just me seeing how much it does to me. But knowing that I can tank one and still force shields out of it, if it wants to continue to keep switch, it puts me in an advantageous position because I know I can get to 2 more Sludge Bombs before he can get to 3 more Rock Slides if I commit to the 2-2 shield scenario. So I'm just going to keep throwing Sludge Bombs straight off the bat just to keep the pressure on the Tangrowth rather than keep the pressure on me and let him get to a Rock Slide before I get to a move. So here I'm throwing this Sludge Bomb, and they decide not to shield, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to try to get to 2 friendly plants here. I'm not sure if I got there or not. I do successfully deny a Poison Jab. We like that a lot. And I've only thrown Sludge Bomb, so I don't have any residual energy. At least enough to get to the next one and less Vine Whips. 2, 3, and 4. I die with 4 Vine Whips. I was too short. Nothing big there. But because I took their shield, I can safely no-shield this one and just continue to farm up. It only does about 65% to me. Just gotta be careful of potential sack swap. They lagged a little bit, unfortunately, for my opponent, but I'm just gonna throw the Earthquake and get rid of this Nidoqueen. I don't think that really made a difference because I have a shield. At the end of the day, I can shield that move from Nidoqueen no matter what. And then we see what comes in. And then I have a Rock Slide for this Abomasnow. And you'll see, I believe after this, I'm going to make a quick swap out to Galvantula to avoid getting extra farm. Yep, that is the play I go for. At the end of the day, that shield didn't matter. If I had used it on the G-Fisk versus using on the Galv, I could tank a Weather Ball here. There's no reason to not shield other than flexing on my opponent, and they just quit up on the game. GG's. Alright, so let's get into the next one. So for this game, I feel like I remember how this one played out. We had Stunfisk into Ninetales. This is a beautiful lead. As opposed to Great League, where the matchup is a little bit closer in Ultra League, Stunfisk doesn't have to commit shield really at all. But the Machamp safe swap matchup is very, very scary for me. I'm going to go Lunge because it does do a hefty chunk of damage still to Machamp. And usually when they have a negative lead, they tend to shield more in the safe swap scenario, especially when it was that poorly of a matchup in the lead. Unfortunately, I wanted to no shield there, but I got baited. It happens. Keep throwing, and I get an extra discharge through, or an extra volt switch, I'm sorry, which is very big. Unfortunately, it's another bait, and at this point, I let a counter through. He's going to get a Rock Slide, most likely. He is within lunge range, or just without, and has a Volt Switch damage. Either way, he had to shield that, and he's just barely gonna get to another move. And in my head, I was like, "There's no way it's a Rock Slide," and I got crushed like a little bug. This is still okay for me because I can farm down. Most likely Ninetale comes in. I'm gonna outpace him to a move because I was only 3 Vine Whips away, and he had automatically swapped. So at best, he was 5 away from a Weather Ball. So no worries here. So I'm gonna throw this Sludge Bomb and automatically swap back into G-Fist. That's 4 Powder Snows from my opponent, and then he comes into Jellicent. Now, to me, I know this matchup is gonna be really close. It's gonna be a race to the next move. Versus that Ninetales. And in the moment, I wasn't so sure I can live a hit. I need to be able to get to this next Earthquake. So they're going to Shadow Ball me again. Again, this is fine. I throw in the middle of their Hex to avoid giving them free turns, which is advantageous for me. Then off the bat, they barely live. I'm like, okay, let's throw this rock slide. CMP tie again. I need to get better at learning my counts to know when not to throw and when to just take a hit. Because A, I lived this Shadow Ball. I could have saved this potentially um, and banked it. I could have farmed more with Venusaur. It could have gotten a lot more clean of a matchup right there. I'm going to auto swap, just not give any more energy. 6, 7, 8. I get a Vine Whip through. He's one shy of a double Weather Ball. And then because I got that one through, it would have been very, very, very close. If I didn't get that one through, we would not have ended on the CMP tie. I would have been one shy of a Frenzy Plant and died. So that was a very, very big win there. All right, my last game. This is what I consider to be one of my best games played. Horrible lead, and I really don't have an answer to Ferrothorn, and a horrible swap. We've already kind of seen how this plays out. It is, I believe, a normal Nidoqueen this time. We'll see again in just a second. Yep, a normal Nidoqueen, so the lunges do even less. And so do the Volt Switches. So we're just going to be sitting here taking every hit, setting up my G-Fisk for a better scenario later on. And I remember at this point, as I'm talking to chat, I'm like, this game is over. I have no way to get past that Ferrothorn anymore. Now that my Galv is kind of out of the way. Like, yes, G-Fisk can kind of answer Ferrothorn, but I have to give up shields to get rid of this Nidoqueen now. And then I'll be down shield to get that Ferrothorn when it comes back in. So it's in a very, very poor situation for me. But because I got two, I believe it was two, maybe three lunges off, I can afford to no shield whatever this Nidoqueen's going to throw at me. So I'm going to no shield the first one. Again, I'm going to get to a race situation where I don't want to throw because I know he's probably going to get to a second Earth Power. But there's some situations where it just becomes kind of awkward if you don't throw. I overfarm waiting for it because I know he's going to get there, and I probably got a little too ambitious. That's totally okay. I'm willing to give a shield here. This puts me at the energy I need to be able to combat that Ferrothorn when it comes back in. So we're going to let this come through. Boom, we get rid of the Nidoqueen with the Rock Slide. I have a ton of energy for this Ferrothorn. I'm just going to throw the Earthquake outright. My goal here is going to be to try to catch a Power Whip onto Venusaur. So right there, he's done 2 Bullet Seeds. Should need 2 more to another one. So that's 3. That's 4, and we caught the Power Whip. Big. Unfortunately, down a shield to 2 shields. I don't know how much this would matter at this point in the game. But for some reason, my opponent decides to stay in. And throws after 2 more Bullet Seeds, which leads me to believe it has to be Mirror Shot. So there's some hope here. If he stays in with Ferrothorn, and that means he's probably weak to Venusaur in the back. So in my head, things that I'm thinking of that could possibly be back there just based on team comp is Swampert, Politoed, things that are scared of Venusaur like those two. Right now, with it staying in, I know I have to keep this Venusaur alive somehow, but I also don't want to commit the shield. For now. Because shielding a Mirror Shot feels bad. So I think because G-Fisk also resists Steel-type moves, my end goal is to catch a Mirror Shot. So I'm just going to over-farm here. And we swap perfectly. We catch a Mirror Shot back onto Stunfisk. Could not have gone better. Hopefully we get him to swap out. And if you're not currently paying attention, this game has been going on for quite a bit now. So the idea behind it is we want to be able to stall the clock. If we get rid of Ferrothorn, we're down to a 2v1 situation. He swapped out a Politoed, keeping Ferrothorn alive. So I'm going to throw an Earthquake at this Politoed. And it was just like I predicted, Water type in the back, scared of Venusaur. He has a bit of energy on Ferrothorn, but you got to remember, Ferrothorn is really, really low on health. And I have a ton of energy on Venusaur. So the sooner this Politoed kills my G-Fisk, the better. Because I can get to 2 Frenzy Plants to KO this Politoed. This is all conditional on the switch clock coming back up as well. So we get it off. No mud shot comes through. That's big. Very, very big. Um, he only did about 8 mud shots before throwing. The switch timer is up right now. So now it's a race to the next move. So he threw back to back essentially, but I got the CMP tie. So now it's 9, 8, 7. We throw. He should die to this frenzy plant, and the clock should expire, making this a massive win. Clock expires, comes down to health, and then we wait. Let's go. Big win. Thank you so much for coming out to watch my video. I hope you found something to learn from it. If you have any questions on some like decisions I made gameplay wise, feel free to ask below. Also, I know I had a couple video edit mishaps throughout the video. Um, I will work on improving that. I know my videos will become a little bit more clean. And keep an eye out for when I make a new video. I'm going to be making my legend push later on this week, if not next week, to try to make legend. Because right now I'm sitting around 2856, I think is my elo. And then after that, we'll try out new teams. I'm working on some new XLs to come out. Just keep an eye out, and I'll be having new videos coming out soon. Thanks, guys.